In this session, we are going to cover the two topics of the structure. The first one is array of structures, and the second is passing structure in a function. So outlines are structure, array of structures, and passing structure in a function. So now let's see again the definition and declaration for a structure, although we have covered in the previous session. So definition, here we have taken one example. In that example, we have defined one struct of type card, right? So it is a struct card and it has the two member function. One is face of character uh, pointer and other one is the suit of character pointer, right? So this is only the definition. So no space is reserved at this point where we are defining it, right? But when we do the declaration, then what happens is the compiler does the two things. The first is it reserves the space for and give that name to that space a card. So what will be the happen here when I write struct card a card, then the space will be reserved for a card and that space is equivalent to the space required by the struct card. Same thing will happen here with the deck. So deck is the structure of array. So we have declared here 52. So the space for 52 such kind of a structure, space will be reserved, right? And this is the card PTR. So card PTR is a pointer and which can hold the address of struct card type. Okay, students, can you tell me that what is the difference in these two examples? The first example is struct my example, and then what we have done is int label, then char letter, char name 20, and then we have put the semicolon over here. In the second example, it is almost same. Struct my example, int label, char letter, char name 20. So up to this point, both the examples are of same type. But what you will see at the end, here we have put the my struct. So is there anyone who can tell me you just think that what is the difference in these two examples, this one and this one? So let's see the difference here. So what we have done in the first one we have just uh, defined the structure. So in the when we define the structure, then no space is reserved for that particular structure. So in this one, what we have done simply is we have given the name my example, that is called a structure tag, right? And we have said that my example will have these following fields, that is the integer label, char letter, and char name 20. But when we come to this particular example, so what we have done here is we have define a object here my struct. So my struct is a structure variable. So what we have done here, we have defined it. So when we do the define a structure, then what happens, it is not only about the structure, it is also with your integer. When you write int a, then you know what happens, that it reserves the 2 byte or depending on the compiler or 4 byte in the memory, and we put the name of that particular memory as a when we say int a. So same thing happens here when we declare using this method my struct. So what will happen, the memory will be allocated for all the elements which my example holds, right? Because my struct is of type my example. So how much memory will be reserved for this my struct in the main memory? So 20 bytes will be taken by the name 20, one will be taken by the letter, and if the compiler is using the 4 byte for integer, then it will be total 25 bytes. So 25 bytes will be reserved for the structure variable my struct, and my struct will be pointing to the first element of that particular 25 byte storage over there. So this is the difference between these two examples. In this, no reserve memory space, no reserve space is not reserved in the memory, and in this example the space is reserved in the memory for my struct structure. Now coming to the next topic, that is the structure, accessing structure member. This also I have defined the previous session also. So there are two kind of methods with the help of which you can access the member of the structure. The first one is the dot operator, and the second one is the arrow operator. So I have explained you there that dot operator is used with the simple normal structure variable. You can see the example here, struct card, a card. So a card is a of type struct card. But if you see this card PTR, then card PTR is holding the address of a card. So it means card PTR is a structure pointer. So when we want to access the member function of a structure with the help of a pointer, then what we need to do is we have to use the arrow pointer. So the first question comes before going to the array of structure, that what is the need of the array of structure, or what is the application of the array of structure. So array of structure in C are used to store information about multiple entries of different data type. So when we have the different data types and we want to do the different entries for that, for example, that I want to store the record of 50 students, and the one record contains the different kind of a data, that is student name, student age, student roll number, student marks, etc. But I want to store it for 50 students. So in that case, you require the array of structure. The array of structure is also known as the collection of structures. So now let's see an example of array of structures that store information of two employees. So now you see the structure of for employee here. So there are the three fields in the structure of employee. The first one is ID, second one is name, which takes the 5 character, and salary, that is of flow type, right? And what we have done is we have declared one structure, that is struct employee, and that is of array type employee emp2. It means that this kind of a this kind of a structure can be stored in the variable emp, right? So you can see the example over here. So what we have said here is that suppose this is emp0. In the emp0, we are using 4 byte for integer, that is the id, and then we are using 5 character for name, that is your name, and then we are using the salary 4 byte for the salary. This is what is happening with the employee at index 0, right? Same with the employee at index 1. We have used the 4 byte for integer, then 5 byte for name, right? And then 4 byte for salary, that is the float type, right? So how much space the one record will reserve in the main memory? So naturally the first one is the int, so it will take 4. Then second one is your char of 5, so it will take 5. And the last one is the salary, so that is a float type, so it will take 4. So total 13 bytes will be reserved by the memory for the one record, right? So but how many records we have declared over here, right? So we have declared the 2 record of this type. So naturally how many total bytes it will take? So total it will take 26 bytes. So now coming to the array of structure. Now let's consider we have the structure as struct student. And what are the different fields in the struct student? We have char name 20, int roll number, char remarks, and then float marks, right? So this is a structure, and these are the members of this particular structure. So if you want to keep record of 100 students, we have to mark 100 structure variable like st1, st2 up to st100, right? So if there are total 100 students, so we have to first declare the 100 structure variable, and we can name them st1, st2, st3 up to st100, right? So in this situation, we can use array of structure to store the record of 100 students, which is easier and efficient to handle because loop can be used. So what we are trying to say here is that in spite of writing st1, st2, st3 up to st100, what we can do is we can use a structure variable that is of array type, right? And then we can say simply that it is student 100. So that student 100 can contain the 100 record of this type, right? So this is your array of structure. So now coming to the how we can declare the array of structure. So there are two ways to do that. The first one is struct student char name 20 int roll number char remark and then float marks, right? And we have what we have done is we have declared one st variable that is of array type 100. Means st is a variable which can accommodate the 100 such records. This is the one way. And the second way is what we can do is we can simply again first define the structure, struct student, then char name, int roll number, char remark, float marks. Then we have closed this structure, so the definition part is over. Then what we can do is we can declare struct student st 100, right? So this way we can do it. So 100 records will be stored. So you can use any method, either this method or this method, right? So any method can be used for this person. Now let's try to understand with the help of a program. So write a program that takes roll number, first name, last name of 5 students and print the same record in ascending order on the basis of roll number. So let's see the structure of a student. So struct student int roll number char fname 10 char lname 10 s5. So s5 is a structure variable that is of array type. So it means S can hold the similar kind of a 5 structure values that is 0 to 4 at the index 0 to 4. So how we can read the values? We are using a for loop here in which the index will go from 0 to 4, right? And then printf enter the roll number. So the first value will be in the starting, the value of I will be 0, right? So what will happen? The first roll number will be stored at the S0 roll number. Same, the first name will be stored at the S0 fname, S0 lname. So like this, the values will be stored in the all the 5 records, that is at S0, S1, S2, S3 and S4. All these records will be stored. Now after that, what we are doing is we are sorting it. So for I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. For j is equal to I plus 1, j is less than 5, j plus plus. So if si roll number is less than sj roll number, then temp is equal to si roll number, and si roll number is equal to sj roll number, and sj roll number is equal to temp. So then we are doing the swapping. So this way what will happen, that all the records will be shifted in the array according to the ascending order of the roll number. So this is what we are doing here. So the main purpose of this program to explain you here is that how you can read the values in a array of structures and how you can manipulate the value or change the order of the values in the structure. Now coming to the array within the structure, that what if we have the member function that is the array in the structure. So here we are trying to understand with the help of example. Here the member mark contains 6 elements: marks 0, marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, marks 4, marks 5, including the marks obtained in the 6 different subjects. These elements can be accessed using the appropriate subscript. For example, if I am saying S25 marks 3, then I am referring the marks of 26th student in the subject, third subject, right? So let's see that how we can do that. So simply what we are doing is we are just reading the values. For I is equal to 0 to I is less than n I plus plus. We are just indicating here that there are total n number of elements, and we know that what is the value of n. So enter the information about the student. Number I is 0 plus 1, that is 1, the student 1. So then name, it will be stored in the S0 name, then class, that will again S0 dot class, then section, and then like this. Then for j is equal to 0, j is less than 6, j plus plus. So now here what we are doing is we are just copying the value in the structure. That is, we are reading the value in a temporary variable temp, that is a marks, and then we are copying that value to the si dot mark j temp. So what we are doing here is the I means in the initially the value of I is 0, means the first student marks of subject J is 0, that is the subject 1. Then this loop will go again, then the student number will remain 0, then subject 2. Student number will remain 0, subject 3, 4 and 5. So that when it will go for the second iteration, then again it will read all the values here and then it come back here, and then in using the for loop we can enter the value of shift subject for the second student. So this way we can use the array inside the structure. Now coming to the next topic in this, that is the passing structure in function. So here we try to understand that how we can pass a structure in a function. So there are total 4 cases which we will consider. The first is passing the individual member to function. Second is passing whole structure to function. Third is passing structure pointer to function, and then passing array of structure to functions. Now coming to the this one method, passing the individual member to function. Now what we want to do here is we want to pass all the members of a function in another function, right? So a structure member can be passed to functions as actual arguments in function call like ordinary variables. The problem here only is, what if the huge number of structure members, suppose there are 20 members in a structure, and we want, then if you want to pass all the 20 members to the another function, then it is a little bit a problem, right? So let's see one example. Let us consider a structure employee having the member name, ID and salary, and pass these members to a function. So let's see, this is your struct employee. It has the 3 members. The first one is name, second one is ID, and third one is salary, and we are talking about the structure variable, that is EMP. So if you want to pass all these 3 value of this particular EMP object, then this is how we have to do. So we have to do in a function call. This is called a function call. In the function call, you have to mention EMP dot name. EMP is the structure variable name and name is the member function. Then EMP ID, that is the EMP again is the function name, function variable name, and ID is the member. And the third one is EMP salary similarly. So what we have done is we have passed these 3 values in the function, and this is the function called, right? And this is the function definition. So in the definition, what you have to do is the first one is the EMP name. So name is actually a array of character. So we have to explicitly tell that char E is of type character array. Second one is the EMP ID. EMP ID is int. So we have to tell that this is your int. Third one is EMP salary. EMP salary is of floating point type. So we have to tell that this is a floating point type. And the value of EMP name will be copied to the array E of character, and the value of employee ID will be copied to ID, and value of EMP salary will be copied to SAL variable. So these 3 values will be copied into the display function. So then after that we can use this function. So what we have done is, first we have printed name, then ID, and then salary. And how the value has come, first one is the name, so you will use %s, that is E, the value of E will be printed. Second one is the %d, so ID will be printed, it is an integer, so it will be printed at the place of %d. And third one is the 2f, so that is the float, so salary will be printed here in place of 2f. So this is how we can pass the individual member function to structure members to a function, and this is how we can receive and use these values. So this is the one method. Second method is passing whole structure to function. Whole structure can be passed to a function by the syntax. So function name, and then you have to pass the structure variable name. So it's very simple. You just give the function name and then you give the structure variable name. So this is how you are going to call in the function call. And in the definition, what you are going to do is, first you will tell that what kind of a return type variable will be, and then function name, then struct, then tag name, and then struct variable name. right? Then let's see the example. Suppose again we have the same example: employee, char name 10, int id, float salary, and employee. So what we have done is simply we have done display is the name of the function, and just we are passing the structure variable name, that is emp, right? So as I told you here also, struct variable name in the this function name one, right here. Then we have to define the structure. So void display. So in that you have to write struct, then name of the structure, that is struct employee, and then you can use the any variable name for this. So what will happen? This emp value will come to the E, right? So whatever the data this EMP contains, that will come to the E. After that, we can access or use all the members of this structure variable EMP, that which has whose value has come in the E, can be used inside this function. So what we have done is name, ID, salary. We have just printed it, and after that we are accessing this value %s, that will come E dot name, then ID, that is E dot ID, and then 2f, that is your E dot salary. So this way we can use the values of the function, sorry, structure, which is in the another function, and inside this function we can access all the member of that particular structure. Next method is passing a structure pointer to function, right? So as we have seen in the last session, that how a structure can be structure address can be given to a structure pointer. So the same way we are going to utilize that particular thing. So in this case, address of a structure variable is passed as an actual argument to function. A corresponding formal argument must be a structure type pointer variable. Always remember this point. Note, any change made to the member in the called function are directly reflected in the calling function. So if you made any change in the called function, then that change will be reflected in the calling function also. Now let's take the same example again. Struct employee, char name 10, id 10, salary, float salary, emp. So what we are going to pass as an argument, that is the address of that particular structure variable. So this is the employee structure variable. So we are passing this value, address of this employee, to this display function. And how it will receive this value? So struct employee. So basically this value which we have passed, that is a pointer type. So a pointer type variable is needed to receive that particular value. So E star, that is, so it means E is a pointer that will copy this, the simply the address of this particular EMP variable, that will come to the E. And I have told you that how you can access the member of a structure function when we are using the pointer. So in place of dot, what you need to do is you have to use the arrow operator, right? So same way, name, you have ID and salary. So in the %s, you can use E dot name, right? In place of dot, you will use arrow. So E arrow name, right? Second one is %d, that is for ID. So E arrow ID, and third one is the floating point, that is E arrow salary. So you have to understand the difference between dot and your arrow. So when it is a simple structure variable, then you have to use the dot operator to access the members. When it is a pointer, then you have to use the arrow operator to access the member. Now this method is passing array of a structure to function. So now this is not a normal structure variable, but it is a array of a structure variable. So passing an array of a structure type to a function is similar to passing an array of any type to a function. So the same thing in the same way this thing will happen here. That is, the name of the array of a structure is passed by calling function, which is the base address of the array of structure. Now let's see the function. The function prototype comes after the structure definition. So struct employee, char name 10, ID, salary. This is the same example, only the difference here is in place of employee, what we have done is we are using the array of structure, that is employee 2. It means it can store the two similar kind of a structure, one at the index 0 and one at the index 1. So let's see. So display employee. So we are just passing the name emp as we do in the array. When we pass array to a function, then we just simply pass the name of the array. because the name of the array is nothing but it is the address of first element of the array. The same way we are doing here, in spite of writing emp with of array 2, we are just simply writing emp here, right? So what will happen? It will pass the address of the first element of this structure to the called function, right? So now let's see, void display struct employee EE, right? And that is of array type. So this EMP value will go to the array EE, right? So simply after that we can use it very easily. Int I, printf, name, ID and salary. And for that what we are doing is we are using a for loop. Why we are using the for loop? Because we have the two values here, so that's why it will go from 0 to 2. If the total employee was supposed to be 10, then what we would have done, we would have make this for loop from 0 to 10. So simply what it will do, printf %s %d and then %f. The first will contain the name, second will ID, and the third will contain the salary. That is for the value of I will first 0, right, in this E, right? This value will be 0, and in the second iteration the value will be 1. So like this, all the structures in the different index of the array of structure will be accessed and printed over here. So these are the following are the references which are used in this while preparing this slide. And this is my mail ID. If anyone want to contact me, they can contact me at this mail. And thank you very much.